There was this preacher who had a strong passion for golf, and whenever he had the chance, he could be found on the golf course, swinging away with enthusiasm. Golfing had become his obsession. One Sunday, the weather was perfect for golf, a picturesque day with clear skies, sunshine, and ideal temperatures. The preacher, torn between his love for golf and his responsibilities, decided to act on his golfing urge. He called an assistant, feigned illness, and excused himself from church duties. Quickly packing up his car, he drove 3 hours to a golf course where he hoped nobody would recognize him. Happily, he started playing the course. Meanwhile, an angel up above observed the preacher's actions and became perturbed. The angel approached God, expressing concern and suggesting that the preacher should be punished for his behavior. God nodded in agreement. As the preacher teed up on the first hole, he swung at the ball, and to everyone's amazement, it sailed effortlessly through the air and landed perfectly in the cup 350 yards away, a picture-perfect hole-in-one. The preacher stood there in shock, his mouth wide open in disbelief. The angel, equally surprised, turned to God, seeking clarification, and said, "Begging your pardon, but I thought you were going to punish him." God smiled and replied, "Think about it. Who is he going to tell?" Three friends meet their demise together in an accident, arriving at the gates of heaven where they are warmly greeted by St. Peter. He welcomes them and imparts a crucial rule of the afterlife, stating, "We only have one rule here in heaven. Don't step on the ducks." As the friends enter heaven, they are immediately struck by the abundance of ducks everywhere, seemingly making it an impossible task to avoid them as the ducks wander all around. Despite their best efforts to tread carefully, the inevitable happens and the first of the three friends accidentally steps on a duck. Almost immediately, St. Peter appears, not looking too pleased, accompanied by an incredibly unattractive woman, the likes of which the first guy has never seen before. St. Peter binds the woman to the first guy, solemnly declaring, "Your punishment for stepping on a duck is to spend eternity chained to this ugly woman." The very next day, the second friend also slips up and steps on a duck despite his best efforts. St. Peter reappears, this time with another extremely unattractive woman. He repeats the process, chaining her to the second guy, saying, "Your punishment for stepping on a duck is to spend eternity chained to this ugly woman." The third friend, having witnessed what happened to his friends, becomes extra cautious. He watches every step he takes, avoiding ducks with the utmost care. His diligence pays off, and he manages to go months without a single misstep. Then one day, to his surprise, St. Peter shows up. This time, however, he is accompanied by a stunningly beautiful woman, absolutely gorgeous, with a tall, curvaceous figure, sun-kissed skin, and an alluring aura. Without a word, St. Peter chains the breathtaking woman to the third guy. The guy, in disbelief and overjoyed, turns to the woman and says, "I wonder what I did to deserve being chained to you for all eternity." She responds, "I don't know about you, but I stepped on a duck." A large number of viewers watch my videos without a subscription. Therefore, subscribe to my channel so as not to miss new videos with funny jokes. An elderly man is worried about his wife's apparent hearing loss, so he decides to consult a doctor for advice. He explains to the doctor, "My wife can't hear very well anymore, and I'm getting concerned. What should I do to help her?" After contemplating the situation, the doctor suggests, "First, let's assess the severity of the problem. Stand 25 feet away from her, ask her a question, and if she doesn't respond, walk 5 feet closer. Repeat this process until she can hear you, and then let me know how far away you are standing." The concerned man agrees to follow the doctor's suggestion and upon returning home, finds his wife cooking in the kitchen. Standing 25 feet away, he asks, "What's for dinner?" However, there is no response, prompting him to walk closer and repeat the question. This process is repeated 2 more times until he is standing only 5 feet from his wife. Growing increasingly worried, he tries one last time, asking, "What's for dinner?" The wife finally looks over and exclaims, This is the fourth time I've said, George, we have chicken? A woman faced a unique and embarrassing situation due to her husband's severe gambling problem. Desperate to safeguard $500 from his gambling habits, she came up with an unusual idea to hide the money where she thought he would never find it. In her desperation, she decided to conceal the money in her vagina, believing it was the safest place. However, upon doing so, she realized that she couldn't retrieve the money, and panic set in. Feeling embarrassed, but seeing no other option, she decided to seek help from a gynecologist. Upon arriving at the doctor's office, the receptionist inquired about the reason for her visit. Too embarrassed to explain her predicament, the woman insisted on seeing the doctor urgently. After a seemingly long wait, she was finally called into the doctor's office. The professional and experienced gynecologist greeted her kindly and asked about her problem. Feeling nervous and embarrassed, the woman hesitated initially. However, realizing the need to explain her situation, she eventually disclosed, "My husband is a compulsive gambler, and he gambles away every nickel he can get his hands on. I had $500 and I stuffed it in my vagina, but now I can't get it out." The doctor, unfazed by such cases in his career, reassured her, "Don't be nervous. I see this happen all the time." He then prepared for the examination, asking her to pull down her underwear and sit with her legs wide open. With gloves on and ready to assist, he humorously added, "I only have one question. Am I looking for bills or loose change?" In a small town, there was a guy named Jake who had his sights set on the town's most beautiful girl, Emily. While Jake was known for being friendly and charming, Emily was considered to be a bit out of his league, known for her selective dating choices. Undeterred, Jake persistently asked Emily out, and after numerous attempts, she finally agreed to go on a date with him. Ecstatic about the opportunity, Jake wanted to ensure their first date was special, so he planned to take Emily to the nicest restaurant in town, thinking a fancy dinner would leave a lasting impression. On the night of their date, Jake, dressed in his best outfit, picked up Emily, who looked stunning as always. They went to the restaurant, and Jake spared no expense, ordering a gourmet meal and the most expensive wine to show Emily that he could treat her well. The dinner went well, with the conversation flowing smoothly. Afterward, on their way home, Jake decided to take a detour to a secluded spot, thinking it would be romantic to spend some time alone under the stars. They parked on the side of the road, and as things started to get more intimate, Jake, carried away in the moment, made some advances. However, Emily stopped him, revealing that she was a virgin and intended to remain one. While Jake was a bit disappointed, he suggested an alternative, asking if she would be willing to give him a blow job. Emily was shocked and exclaimed, "Yuck, I'm not putting that thing in my mouth." Undeterred, Jake then proposed a hand job. Emily, hesitant and inexperienced, questioned what she had to do. Trying to simplify the explanation, Jake said, "Well, remember when you were a kid and you used to shake up a Coke bottle and spray your brother with it?" Emily nodded, and Jake said, "It's just like that." Curious but willing to try, Emily grabbed hold of it and started shaking, mimicking the motion of shaking a soda bottle. To her surprise, Jake's reaction was unexpected. His head flopped back, his eyes closed, and he screamed out in pain, with snot running out of his nose and wax blowing out of his ear. In agony, Jake managed to shout, "Take your thumb off the end!"